It was just a mistake, my mother pleaded as I screamed in agony, my crushed hand still pinned under the tire. My brother David just smirked from the driver's seat. But when the hand surgeon saw the old breaks in my x-rays, she looked at my parents and said, "I'm calling Detective Morgan." My brother's smirk disappeared. The sound of bones crushing under a car tire is something you never forget. It's a distinct crunch followed by searing pain that makes your vision go white. I know the son intimately now thanks to my brother David. I'm Sophia Chin, 26, a concert pianist where I was until yesterday. Now I'm lying in the emergency room watching my mother try to convince the nurses that my brother accidentally drove over my right hand. David didn't see her. My mother insisted her perfectly manicured nails tapping nervously on her designer purse. Sophia shouldn't have been crouching behind the car, except I wasn't behind the car. I was standing next to it, reaching for my sheet music that had blown under David's BM. No, he saw me. He made eye contact with me through his side mirror. Then he deliberately put the car in reverse. "Mrs. Chen," the nurse said, firmly, checking my your daughter's hand was crushed. This requires immediate surgical consultation. We understand my father cut in smoothly, but perhaps we could transfer her to our family doctor. Dr. Lee knows our family history. I almost laughed through my pain medication haze. Of course they wanted Dr. Lee. He'd been covering up David's accidents since we were teenagers. "I'm calling Dr. Victoria Martinez," the nurse announced. "She's the best hand surgeon in the state." My mother's face tightened. "We prefer this isn't optional." The nurse interrupted. "Your daughter's hand has multiple crush injuries. Without immediate specialized surgery, she could lose function permanently." I watched my parents exchange worried glances. They knew a specialist might ask too many questions. Might notice too much. David, lounging in a corner chair, playing with his phone, finally looked up. "Come on, sis," he said, with that familiar cruel smile, "tell them it was just an accident. You know how sorry I am." Sorry like he was sorry when he broke my fingers one by one when I was 16, because I won a piano competition. He lost like he was sorry when he slammed my hand in a door last year because I refused to give him money for his gambling debts. The nurse left to make calls, and my mother immediately leaned close to my bed. "Sophia, remember what we talked about? Family loyalty is everything. David's career could be affected if this gets complicated." "Ah, yes, David's precious career as a surgeon, the golden child who could do no wrong, the son who was just high-spirited when he hurt me, just stressed when he became violent." "My career," I whispered through dry lips. "What about my career?" "Don't be dramatic." My father sighed. "You can still teach piano with a crushed hand, because my brother's medical career was more important than my ability to ever play again." The door opened, and a tall woman in surgical scrubs entered. "I'm Dr. Martinez," she announced, picking up my chart. Her eyes were sharp as she scanned the initial reports. "Thank you for coming." My mother started her usual charm offensive. "We're hoping to transfer Sophia to." "That won't be possible." Dr. Martinez cut her off, already examining my hand. "This injury requires immediate surgery. I'm seeing multiple crush fractures, possible nerve damage." She carefully unwrapped the temporary bandages, and I heard her slight intake of breath. "These older heel fractures," she said, slowly, "they show a pattern." My heart started racing. No one had ever noticed the pattern before, or if they did, they'd been paid, not to mention it. "Sports injuries," my father said, quickly. "Sophia is clumsy." Dr. Martinez's eyes met mine. "Ms. Chen, I need to take some x-rays and do a detailed exam. Would you prefer to speak privately?" "We're her family." My mother protested. "We showed out." Dr. Martinez said firmly, "All of you now." I watched them leave. My mother's tight smile, my father's controlled anger, David's darkening expression. For the first time since the accident, I felt like I could breathe. "Sophia," Dr. Martinez said gently, once we were alone, "I've seen these injury patterns before, multiple healed fractures at different stages concentrated in one area of the body. This wasn't your first hand injury? Was it?" Tears slid down my cheeks as I shook my head. "The nurses noted you said your brother reversed over your hand deliberately. Was he also responsible for the previous injuries?" Years of fear and family pressure screamed at me to deny it, to protect David, to keep the family secret. But as I looked at my crushed hand, the hand that had been my life, my art, my freedom, something broke inside me. "Yes," I whispered. "He was." Dr. Martin has nodded. Her face professional, but her eyes compassionate. "I'm going to help you, Sophia, not just with your hand, but with all of it. But first, I need to make a call to Kuma." "Time," I asked, though I already knew the police, she said, reaching for her phone, "and then we're going to document everything, every break, every accident, every scar. It's time someone knew the truth." Outside the room, I heard David's voice rising in anger, but for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of what would happen next. The police interview room was cold, but Detective Morgan's eyes were warm, as she said, a cup of tea in front of me. My bandaged hand rested on the table between us, a stark reminder of why we were here. "Take your time. Ms. Chen," she said, opening her notebook, "Dr. Martinez has provided the medical documentation. Now we need your statement. It had been 3 days since the accident, 3 days of surgery of my parents trying to pressure Dr. Martinez into changing her report of David's increasingly threatening messages through family members, but Dr. Martinez had stood firm, documenting every old injury, every suspicious break, creating a timeline of abuse that spanned nearly a decade. It started when I was 16, and began slowly after the Shanghai International Piano Competition. Detective Morgan listened as I described how David, then a medical student, had systematically broken my fingers after I won first place a competition he'd lost years before, how our parents had called it a sibling quarrel and taken me to Dr. Lee, who wrote it off as a sports accident. They said it would hurt David's medical career if anyone knew. I explained, my voice trembling, that I needed to think about the family's reputation and the other incidents. Detective Morgan prompted gently. I told her about the slammed door last year, the accidental falls that always seemed to involve my hands, the constant threats whenever I refused to give David money. With each revelation, I felt a weight lifting, the weight of secrets kept too long. Ms. Chen, Detective Morgan said, sliding photographs across the table. Dr. Martinez provided these X-rays.